I'm recording both audio and video currently. Um, is there anything you don't want to talk about?
Not really, I guess.
It's kind of a loaded question, but I promise you I will not go there. For whatever it is that you may think I was going to go to.
I don't know. I never know with you.
That's what makes this so special.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, there's nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary for you to expect. I'm not going to do a formal intro. We'll just keep rolling. I will say, however, this is ARO podcast episode number 67. And tonight I am joined by Andy. I believe it's McLaughlin. McLaughlin?
Yeah, McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Awesome. Awesome. And I only know you via social media, which I think is
Right.
probably pretty normal for a lot of people in the outdoor space or the hunting industry, so to speak. Not that I'm in an industry, but I there's a ton of people that I only know via Instagram. Do you feel that way too sometimes?
Yeah, it's kind of like our online deer camp, you know?
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't really have a lot of people that I hang out with in real life, so it works, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. I do. I don't know how old you are, but I can tell you
I'm
that. Go ahead.
I'm 45.
Oh, we're the same.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like my circle has shrunk. My my
Yeah.
my actual human interaction circle is very small. Um, outside of obligations with my kids. So like we had a chili cook off yesterday. As a matter of fact, you are recording with the most creative name chili cook off
I've
champion,
seen that. Chili Ray Cyrus.
Chili Ray
Come on.
Cyrus, the achy breaky fart chili.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Looked like a good time.
it was a great time. It was so we have historically this is like the fifth one, and it's always in either one of the last weekends of January or one of the first weekends of February. And it's
Yeah.
just to break up the monotony of winter time. So like maybe you feel like you're stuck in the house, whatever. This gives people an opportunity to get out. So what I was gonna say, as like my circle is pretty small, is like unless it's somebody on my kids' hockey team, there's not a lot, or my family, there's not a ton of people that I'm like hanging out with on a regular basis. I interact with more people online than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I talked to the people at work and I got a handful of buddies. Like there's like four of us total that are on like a text chain and we hunt together like once a year and that's about it. And my wife and kids,
Yeah, yeah.
that's about it.
Well, why don't you take some time and kind of introduce yourself, who you are and where you're from and what you do and anything else you feel like you might want to share.
All right. I'm Andy McLaughlin from East Central Indiana and I'm a husband and a father and got a full-time job and just living the dream, hunting on the weekends.
What is your relation to the Arms of an Angel, Sarah McLaughlin? Do you get free tickets to her concerts or anything?
Yeah, that little song plays in my head every time I shoot a critter. I mean, come on.
You hold it in your arms, in the
Yeah,
arms
yeah,
of an angel. I don't know.
yeah. Not spelled the same. Not spelled the same. Whole different crew.
Oh, son of a gun! I thought I was onto something there.
Nope,
Maybe there was a connection. I don't know why.
nope,
Do you know any other songs by Sarah McLachlan? I don't know any other
no,
songs.
no. Just when they play that one on the commercials on TV
Get
for
your Yeah,
27 cents a day, you too can spare the life of a poor critter.
a three-legged dog,
Yeah.
a cat that was burned in a house fire. That's funny. I don't know why. That's the only song I can come up with. I'm sure she has a wonderful audio catalog that I'm just forgetting.
I'm sure somebody likes it.
Listen, man, we started talking kind of like I don't know when we started interacting on Instagram, but um recently I thought your account got hacked. And
Yeah.
randomly, you just sent me a message and you were like asking me about like deodorants and
Hmm.
cleaning supplies and stuff like that. Where did that come from? Like what did I do or what did I say? Like how did that come up?
You had like a little rant in a story one day about a shopping cart with cologne on it or something, and you were like talking about like people with their chemicals and shit, and I was like, oh, okay, I bet he's on the same page.
Yeah. Well, what did you find yourself thinking about when you heard that from me? Like what were you going through? Like what were you thinking about doing? What triggered that for you?
What do you mean, like,
Like what like did why did that resonate with you?
oh, because our household, we're trying to knock out chemicals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Was there something that made you go down that road?
look around, just
Yeah.
fucking look around, you know? So, like, we're trying to cut seed oils and dyes and shit out of our food and like all kinds of artificials and all that stuff. So, we're starting to go down the checklist on household products too.
Feels like it's impossible, doesn't it?
It's pretty daunting.
Dude, it's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
I went to the stores the other day and I just bought granola. Like appeared it appears that it is healthy granola. It's full of shit, man.
It's garbage.
Full of
It's
shit.
garbage. I mean, the list is a mile long.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean, I can't take any credit. My wife is the one that's like spearheaded this whole project, and she like pays attention to that shit. And I'm just like coming up on the sidelines going, oh, holy shit, I didn't realize it was this bad.
yeah. Have you made any substantial changes within the house that make you that you're noticeably feeling different?
Okay. So with our food, um, we've cut out, like I said, seed oils, like condiments is just, when you open the refrigerator door and now the whole drawer is full of condiments, throw all that shit in the garbage, because the seed oils, the artificials, the dyes, the gums, everything it's in these foods. And once you stop eating them, if you do have any of like once it's out of your system and then you get some of that back into your system, you just feel like garbage and that shit will tear you up and it's terrible.
It is weird how you almost feel like you get a hangover.
Yeah. So they recently started adding some gums to dairy products like sour cream, like the regular sour cream at the store. They started adding like xanthan gum and like gore gum and stuff like that to it. And we didn't realize that they had started adding that in. And over the holidays, my wife was making some like cheesy potatoes or something with some sour cream in it or something. I don't know. There was a few dishes that had sour cream in it. And we ate that for a couple of days over the holidays, and it knocked us on our ass. We didn't even realize it at the time. We were like, why do we feel so bad? And like, we felt like we were like ramping up and doing good. And then that just hit us and just knocked us down. It was like, we started looking into it, figured out that all that shit was in that food, had to go,
Yeah.
had to find an alternative, something else.
That really gets me thinking because there are times where I feel like I'm doing really well. Like I feel like I'm eating pretty clean. I feel like I've been pretty responsible. I don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like I've gone off the deep end for any reason. And then I'll, like you said, it'll be something obscure where I
Mm-hmm.
feel like everything should be fine. But then come to
Yeah.
find out it is
Like
something
there's no reason for it.
like a small like a minor ingredient in whatever it may be has thrown me in the
Mm-hmm.
deep end. And that would probably explain a lot of my tummy ache scenarios that I find myself in.
Yes.
And my brother, who I'm sure will hear this, is probably thinking the same thing. Like, oh, my tummy problems are
Mm-hmm.
figuring out. We refer to him as the condiment tornado. Adam is. I wonder if he's put much thought into his condiment situation
I'll
because I'm
tell you
sure that's
what,
what it is.
I used to be a ranch dude, like
Oh yeah,
fucking ranch was my jam. Can't. Can't do it anymore.
No, in no way can you find or like make your own, like get it in a powder form and then add ingredients to it.
Yeah,
Like there's
you
nothing.
can. You can, but it's just, it's pretty much it's a pain in the ass sometimes.
I'm sure that
But
powder stuff is full of shit too.
oh yeah, MSG's for sure. The
Yeah.
whatever Hidden Valley Ranch powder,
Oh yeah.
MSG is like number one ingredient, and it's got all the garbage in it.
How old are your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
11 and 14.
So I have a 15, a 12, and a 7. So we're in this weird
Yep.
same boat here. Um, so we also homeschool our kids, which
Hmm.
automatically puts us in a category of raising weirdos. Uh, and that's fine. You could say that a kid that goes to public school may have the same encounters with other weirdos.
Right.
So we homeschool the kids. They have very very limited screen time, and we're
Yeah.
trying to get them to eat healthy. And we sound like fucking psychopaths all the time. Like
Mm.
that is full of garbage, and this is full of garbage, and that's full of shit, and all you're obsessed with the iPad. So because some of their homeschooling is on the internet, and so
Yep.
inherently they do have to use a little bit of
Hmm.
technology, but occasionally I think about what it must sound like to them, what we must sound like
Right.
to them, because the world around them, they
I
don't,
know.
it's not happening to everybody.
Yeah.
Do you find that you're having these similar conversations with your kids about
Oh yeah.
food and
Oh
stuff?
yeah, for sure. And we got to sound like the old timers,
Yeah,
back in my day, we got to sound like freaking like we're off our rockers, you
yeah,
know.
for
And
sure.
they're like, you don't know. It's not like that. It's not that bad. It's like, oh yeah, it is that bad.
Yeah, sometimes we feel like we've overdone it. I think the term is helicopter parenting, where you're just like you look at every single thing your kids do, and I agree they need to be able to navigate risk in their
Hmm.
own lives, but at some point, I don't feel like we're there yet. Like I don't feel like we've given them enough information yet for them to be able to necessarily navigate the risk that is involved with the food that they're eating, because they just don't know enough stuff.
Right.
And then as a parent, when do you cut that cord? Because I don't feel like I even learned half of this shit until the last 5 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. In the last year, a lot of it's really come to light in the
Yeah.
last year. But, you know, we're not a soda pop house at
Hey,
all. And whole food, even like we're buying it's just everything, everything is, we're just trying to get it pared down to the very bare bones of, let's have good nutrition and this is what we've got in the house. No options, you
I was
know.
at so like I said, we had the chili cook off. I had to go get some ingredients, so I was at Kroger, which is a local grocer here in Michigan.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys have Krogers down there or not.
Yeah, we got a couple, not in our town specifically, but there's a couple around.
Yeah. So I was there Friday morning, I think. Friday midday. Anyway,
Hmm.
the zombies were out. Everybody's in
Yep,
their fucking
yep,
pajama pants, grocery shopping, whatever.
yep.
The one thing that I walked by that really triggered this memory here was some sort of a Skittle flavored beverage, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
right,
what? Who loves
right.
Skittles so much that they want to drink the Skittle water?
Mm.
I'm sure it's so healthy.
Yeah, probably glows.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And we will get into anybody listening to this. We will get into the outdoors. It's just that Andy and I recently like kind of vibed on this, and so I'm
Hmm.
really hammering this home. Like when I go into a place of business, if it is heavily LED'd, like if every light,
Yeah.
every 12 inches they have a 2x4 fixture of LED, I almost cannot be in there. It kills
Yeah.
my eyeballs.
Yeah. Yeah. So like my wife's an art teacher at the school and she's got in her classroom, it's an art room. So they're allowed to kind of get away with a little bit things,
Uh,
since it's
yeah,
art, right? So she's like got the LEDs turned off, and she brought lamps in from home
that's
to get
awesome.
some of that more yellow light in there. And then she's
Yes.
got windows, and the kids really respond well to that. Like they have like settled down, like they not, they come in there and they chill out, they settle in. It's amazing like what you can do with that. That
Yeah.
blue light, it just
You don't even realize it. You don't even realize it's happening to you until you get away from it.
mm-hmm.
It'd be
Now I'm not
fascinating. Go
I'm
ahead.
not over here with my tinfoil hat on, but you know,
Oh, we can put them on.
I not no no. Give me around a campfire and we'll put the tinfoil hats on. Not here though.
That's funny. So speaking of campfire, did what's your hunting background? Did you grow up in like a hunting camp lifestyle growing up? Was that something that
Yes,
you guys did?
yeah,
Where does your
sort
hunting
of.
come from?
Well, my grandpa, which I never met my grandpa, but he was old school hunter from way back. Like he hunted, well, in Indiana, there wasn't much for whitetail deer until like the 50s, I think. So for most of he was going up to the UP hunting. That was his every year he'd go up to the UP hunting deer. And he shot his first deer around here like in 67 or something. But
Really?
he was always a small game hunter, like a food sustenance hunter, you know, back in the olden days. He grew up during the Depression, so I get a lot of it from him. And then my dad, um, so that was my grandpa on my mom's side. But my dad, he hung out, he had a whole crew of people that he hung out with, and they shotgun hunted pretty hard, like back in the 70s and 80s. They had like push woodses and shotgun hunt. And it was just there was an old guy's place where everybody would meet up, and that was like the camp. So, being a little kid, I was like around all that back then. And then me and dad, once that camp kind of fizzled out, then me and dad just had our own thing where we was just hunting on our own. And it was mostly shotgun hunting. Um but as I got to like 13, I got my first bow. And then because I wanted to hunt more than just 2 weeks of shotgun season,
Mm-hmm.
so I started bow hunting and never looked back. Like,
When you were talking about the hunting camp that eventually fizzled out, I can't remember if you said this or not. Was it in the UP or was it in Indiana?
no, 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 it was local around my area,
Okay.
East Central Indiana.
Okay. Why do you think it fizzled out?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was it
Those guys were getting
was it
old.
yeah, was it guys
They,
from your grandpa's generation or your dad's
yeah,
which
they
yeah.
were. Yeah, the
Okay.
old guy that lived there was my grandpa's buddy,
Okay.
and so they were all pretty old. But that camp just kind of fills it out. When the old guy died, they ended up like leveling the property and just farming it over, and you know, so that was the end
Do
of
you
that.
still drive by and see it today?
I don't go by there often, but I can go through there, and it's just there's nothing there.
Hmm. Just
It's leveled.
farms?
Yeah, it's just till they leveled it and tilled it under.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I just wondered if it had like 'cause I didn't hadn't asked like what age were you when that was a thing when that existed?
Oh, up until I was about 8 or 10, probably.
Okay. So I mean you could have some fond memories of it. I wasn't sure if maybe you
Oh
drove by
yeah,
there sentimentally to kind of look at it or for any reason.
yeah. We hunted all that property around there, and it's kind of funny because now all that property is like state owned and like swampland, and so nobody, And I go through there and I'm like, we used to hunt that, or we used to hunt that, and it's like it's neat.
I hear that more and more. Where, in fact, I was just listening to Justin Hollinsworth on the Fall podcast discuss how he is in commercial construction and how it pays his bills, but it really
Yep.
stings when you belong to a group or an organization or a company or something that has to eliminate some of that wild area in order
Yeah.
for to build something. Uh, I too am in that industry, and it does bother me. It does bother me. I don't get a lot of like massive development that I
Mm.
see knocked down when I have to go build a restaurant. It's like it's typically an out parcel that already exists. So anyway, but I do think about it. I think about it a lot. I think about how I need the timber to do what I'm doing. I need yada yada, all that stuff. And how if it wasn't for that industry, I wouldn't be able to pay for my house and all the things that I like to do, which
Right.
involve the wildlife. And so I do.
Right.
It does bum me out when I see that stuff get leveled. But
Yeah. Around here, our biggest thing around here is they level everything for farming. It's just they're just
oh,
leveling it. Yeah, they're just level it, bulldoze it, burn the pile, plant corn.
mm,
That's the biggest thing around here.
no kidding.
Hmm.
I thought my gut reaction, if you would have stopped, I would have said solar.
No,
Are you
there's a
seeing any of
couple.
that?
There is a pretty big solar farm, but it's kind of far away.
Mm,
But it's they just covered farm ground with it. Like,
yeah. And I imagine there's some old timer who's tired of dealing with the corn bean rotation and arguing with the government on the subsidies, and he's just tired of it. And then solar's
yeah,
like, dude, I'll give you this fortune. And then he thinks to
hmm,
himself, well, good, I don't have to fucking deal with this.
yeah,
I'm gonna die and soon anyway, and then I'll just leave all this money to my family. Like, I get that. But man,
yeah,
I cannot stand hundreds of acres of solar panels. I can't stand to see it. And there's a lot that I
no,
drive by, and it just is disgusting.
yeah, yeah. Not a fan.
Yeah. Do they do a lot of the wind farms by you, like the big
There's
gigantic turbines?
there's a section of turbines that's not too. We can see a couple from the house, but they're about 10 miles away.
Yeah. You ever hunted by any of those?
No, but I've been out around them a little bit. They're pretty loud.
Yeah, it's weird. I really thought they would um, cause the deer to behave very differently, and I suppose so. We don't have any on our property, but we have one across the street, or maybe two across the street, pretty close. And I'd be curious. We're not allowed to hunt over there, but I'd be curious what those hunters see over there as far as deer
Probably
movement is
not much.
concerned. I
I would
know that,
imagine
yeah,
the noise and the movement and the vibration of it. I would imagine that the wildlife's like, no thanks.
yeah. The vibration thing I never thought about.
Yeah.
They got to feel that.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, that thing's got to be shaking like crazy.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. I when they first started building them over there by that property, the majority of the landowners that we were talking to were really concerned that they'd be louder than they actually are. They are loud, and they hum quite a bit. But I think all the old timers were really worried they were going to be super loud.
Yeah.
When thinking back, like you were talking about shotgun hunting and stuff like that, and you decided you wanted to pick up a bow to hunt more. What was the vibe from the other, maybe older generation when you decided to do that? Did they think you were crazy?
Nah. I mean, I've always been so into hunting that it was like not a surprise, I guess. Because ever since I was a little kid, I was running around with the little toy bow.
Yeah.
And then I had one of them red, bear pandas or whatever, the very first compound bow. I had one of those, and I was always out in the backyard shooting that thing. And then when I got my, flea market Jennings, whatever, from 1976, it was the greatest thing in the world to me.
I was just talking last night at the cook off with a guy who, and again, you and I just said this earlier where we sound like old timers, where it's like, I just wish the kids would go outside and shoot their bows. Like
Hmm.
for us, we would shoot pucks in the driveway. We'd shoot hockey pucks in the
Hmm.
driveway, and we'd ride our bikes in the woods. I did not
Yeah.
grow up in a hunting family. I did not get a bow till I was in my 20s. So it wasn't. I would not. I was not the kind who would shoot his bow, but I would damn sure be outside all day long. And I really want that for my kids, and we really try to
Mhm.
encourage it. Is that something that you guys talk about too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd been taking my son hunting, and a couple years ago he got his first turkey, and then this year he got his first deer. His a doe with the rifle. So we're getting there. You know,
Yeah.
we're taking the steps, and I was really hoping he could get a buck this year, but they didn't come by.
Yeah.
So
That happens to everybody.
yeah,
What was your journey like bow hunting? Like, was it all public land? Was there any private?
private land.
All private?
Yeah. So where we lived, um, my grandparents they had like the old farmhouse, and then we lived right next door to them, and then across the road was 360-acre farm that belonged to my grandpa's buddy, and I had access to all of that. There was like a couple of big woodses on it, a lot of fields, some ditch lines. I could just run wild over there as a kid, you know, had trails in the woods for riding my three-wheeler and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So that was like my hunting land, you know. That was the spot that I got to go and learn how to hunt,
Did
you
you
know.
did you kind of figure things out on your own, or did you have somebody that was with you and was mentoring you and teaching you along the way?
Okay, so my dad is an old school like meat hunter. Like it was a job for him. He wanted to get in, get the deer, and get back to the house. He had other things to do. It
Hmm.
was a job. So he was a meat hunter. If it's brown, it's down. First thing that walks by, and I'm over there. I'm like, I want to set from October 1st till January 1st. You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
and he couldn't imagine how I wanted to just sit. You know,
Yeah.
so I would hunt all October, and then when you know, gun season rolled around mid-November, he'd come in, he'd be like, "All right, let's push this woods, let's get these deer running, let's make it happen." And you know, we had some success with it, but it wasn't really my thing, you know.
Well, who was teaching you how to get on big bucks? Because let's be honest, you shot some great bucks. And that does,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that can happen accidentally. And yes, along the way, you will learn a lot. Um, but how did you stumble into that first good buck?
Time,
Yeah.
just time and being there and being in the woods, you know, walking trails, finding where they're living, you know.
Not hurrying up and shooting the first thing.
Yeah, like I've shot a handful of dinks. Like I've shot probably, I don't know, 20 80-inch deer or less, you know,
Yeah.
and that's just what it is. Like I shot a spike one time. I thought it was a doe, you know, it's hunting. It
Yeah.
was bedded. Stalked up on it. You know, I looked and looked and I didn't see any antlers. And when I walked up there, there was little antlers.
Oh, be damn.
So, you know, that's the smallest buck I ever shot, you know. It's it just takes time.
That's
I
and
like
that's what a lot of people don't want to put in.
it irritates me when I hear new hunters saying something like, I'm holding out. I'm not gonna shoot nothing until I get like a 150. And it's like that doesn't work. That 150 is gonna walk in and rattle your cage and you're gonna fall all over yourself, you know? I bow hunted from the time I was 13 until I was like 23 before I shot and tagged, like harvested a deer with my bow.
That's a long
It
time,
took,
and that's a long time.
yeah, because I was missing. or wounding. Like
Hmm.
it was a deal. And I kept, and everybody's like, you need a new bow. Your old, because I was shooting like an old bear. It was a bear, black bear from like the 83 or something, with the cables and the little wheels. And so I had to, it's got the old pins, the slide with the pins
Oh
for
yeah.
your sights.
Yep.
And um, I was having trouble, like I'd get rattled and use the wrong pin or something like that. So I took it down and just put one pin on it at like 20 yards. And this is even before we had range finders. We didn't even have range finders. So you'd like step off, you'd walk out and step off distances and like go, okay, it's 23 yards to this log. Just you didn't have any other way, or you had to just get good at visually doing it. So when a deer comes walking in, you don't have a rangefinder and you got one pin at 20 yards. You're like, do I aim high or low? you know?
Yeah.
And I was just told myself, I'm not buying, I can't justify buying a new bow until I can kill one with this bow. Because once I start killing deer, now I can justify spending money on it. And once I got I shot my first buck with my bow because I had already shot a ton of bucks with my shotgun, but with a bow, that was just a monkey on my back. And I finally got that first buck with my bow. And after that, it was just game on. Then I started buying new equipment and I was like, okay, now I can justify this. And then they came out with rangefinders, it was like,
But
okay,
I
sweet.
forgot. I forgot about that because again, I did not grow up in a hunting family. I did start hunting, bow hunting in my 20s, very early 20s, and I definitely do not think I had a rangefinder at the time. I remember having a multi-pin sight.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I do maybe I do remember pacing off distances before I climbed up in my climber, but that's just something I don't ever think about that. Ever.
You had a climber?
I did. I had a Summit climber when I first started.
Yeah. I bought it was an API bow hunter. So it was like a two piece and the
Hmm.
top, it was real small. It was real lightweight back in the day.
Yeah.
I think it was still like 25 pounds, but I used that thing and hunted. I carried that thing for 20 years. Almost. I just sold it a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So when my wife and I were dating and we moved to Florida, I brought everything with me just because I thought, well, I'm moving out of my house. Um, I'm just gonna bring all my stuff and then we'll just see what happens. And so I moved down there and bought a house and I had that climber hanging in my shed for I don't know, probably until 2013. So for 8 years, it just sat in my shed, and I never use it. But I would just move it
Mm-hmm.
around, thinking, "Oh, maybe one of these days." And then I just never hunted, and so I ended up. I think I threw it away. I didn't know what to do with it down there. I never
Yeah.
talked to anybody in Florida about hunting ever, not
I,
one time.
I sold mine on eBay. I was like, if I don't get rid of this, I'll never upgrade. I'm just going to
Yeah,
keep using it. I'm like, if I don't just get rid of it, I got to cut ties with this thing.
yeah,
So I sold it. I was like, I'm all right. I'm out of here with this. I'm stepping into something else, you know?
yeah. What did you decide to go with?
So I got a lightweight hang on and then Maverick saddle and the Latitude sticks.
How do you like it?
I love it. It's awesome.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing the things that people are coming up with, the methods by which you can packability wise and light weight and ease of use. It is just absolutely fucking mind blowing where
Yeah.
we are at today in this community.
Yeah. You definitely, you can get into some little bitty ass trees, you know, and you can just put it anywhere, you know. I'm looking at all kinds of stuff like places that I would have never been able to get into. Like with
Do
the climber, you're looking for the next telephone pole to get on.
yes. do you still sit permanent sets?
Yeah, I've got a couple ladder stands. I've got so I don't hunt that big property anymore,
Okay.
but I can hunt on the other side of the fence. Um, I've got some property that butts up to it, and I've got like a two-man ladder stand, so I can take my son. Like I've got it all set up so we can go and hunt that, you know. But I've got that spot, and then I've got another spot that's a permanent setup. But then I've got my, I run the latitude stuff, you know.
Tried and true locations are sweet, man. I'll never forget that year where I kept thinking to myself, I'm 20 yards off, I'm 30 yards off, I'm 20 yards off again, I'm 30 yards off. And I asked for a saddle for my birthday and got it. And then I hunt all around that one stand that is the kill stand, all
Yeah,
around it. And we still
yeah,
kill deer right over there. But it was that stand, skyscraper, where I remember thinking to myself, God, I'm 20 yards off,
yeah.
and I've never looked back. I mean, I will hang right next to one of those permanent sets.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I climbed into a permanent set all year in 2025.
Yeah, yeah. I I only have those two permanent setups, but that's just to, take my son out
Yeah,
or, if there's weird wind or something, I can just go in there real quick and
sure.
not a big deal. But I do, I've hunted plenty of public. We got some public around, uh, not too far away that's really good. And I do hunt that quite a bit. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's what the mobile setup's for, really.
If you don't mind me asking, why can you no longer hunt that big piece?
Well, my dad, so, um, a few years ago, my dad got pretty sick and was in nursing care. And so some neighbors had heard about that and called the landowner and was like, "Oh, he's not going to be in there hunting that no more." And they got in there, and then I was like, I, I, I kind it got the rug got pulled out from under me on that deal.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that. That's a bummer, dude, and that's really
yeah,
shitty that people do.
it's super shitty. It's super shitty. And I've talked to, the guys that are now hunting it, which I've never seen them out there hunting. Like they've got like a big box blind parked out there now, but I've never ever seen anybody out there. And I know that they're only accessing like 10% of the property,
Ugh,
right where they can drive their four-wheeler to.
sure.
And I talked to the landowner about hunting like the backwoods or, something. And they're like, nah. So I don't know if they offered him money or I don't know.
That's a bummer, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's all right. It is what it is.
Yeah. I think that goes on a lot. I also think that probably there's attempts to do that a lot, and it doesn't always work. Um, I'd be lying if I said I didn't think that probably happened to my brother and I. Like we have a pretty great permission piece, and it's in one of the best buck counties in the state of Michigan, and it's set up really well for success, and we're blessed to have it. But I'd be a fool to think nobody's offered them money
Right.
out to
Right.
get out from underneath us.
Yeah.
And I don't take that lightly. I
No.
really do my best to take as good of care as I possibly can for them. And I do feel like I fall short, and I do feel like I could do a better job. But I think about it every year, like I do not want to lose this, and so how
Yeah.
can I step it up? Um,
Yeah. Made me realize real quick that I need to be better about, staying on top of that shit.
dude, what are you fucking? Are you wearing the same fucking? Fall pie.
Yeah.
I just
What are the
noticed
odds?
that. I don't have my
What are
glasses
the
on, so
odds?
I
Huh?
can't really see you, but we are both wearing the Hambino antler on our
That's
shirt.
funny. That's funny.
There's cheers to you, Aaron. I'll be damned.
Sundays are for the Hambino, huh?
That's hilarious. Uh,
Yeah.
that's really funny. Sorry, I totally I don't have my glasses on. I can't see you very well. So son of a gun, look at that. Back
Mine's just a
to
t-shirt though. I'm not
That's
bougie
okay.
like with the hoodie.
That's okay. I wish I could. I wish I had a Hambino T-shirt. Maybe one of these days. Um, like I was saying before, I don't know you outside of Instagram, and so you kind of go through your photos and when you see things that you're doing, hey, I like that. It's pretty cool, whatever. But then I started to kind of do a deeper dive before we recorded tonight, and it has struck me that you have been collecting pretty great deer for a while. Um, do you remember the first deer that flipped that switch for you, where you're like, "This is what I want to do. I want bigger. I want more mature. I want better deer."
Yeah. Yeah. I shot a really wide buck. It's been kind of a long time ago. It's like 21 inches wide. 10 pointer, real nice buck. Um, that one there was like, yeah, I want this.
How
I
long ago
want,
was that? Do you remember?
um, probably like mid 2000s.
Okay, so 20 years ago.
Yeah,
So you were
probably.
half your age.
Right, right.
It sounds way worse when you say I was half as old as I am today.
Yeah, it was a quarter of a century
Oh
ago.
shit! When you say it like that, yeah. Okay, so a long time ago, in a
Yeah,
land far, far away, very, very close,
yeah,
you got hooked by shooting a
yeah.
nice wide deer. What was it about this deer? Did you have history with this deer? Was it a surprise buck?
Um, I had about a week of history with it.
Okay.
Um, but it was big, and I'd never, well, I'd seen some big ones prior to that. Like I'd been you know in on some big ones over the years, but that was the first one I was able to connect with. you know
Yeah. So I imagine I try to well I'm trying to imagine what my life would have been like in my 20s hunting big deer like this. When you were finally able to connect on this deer
hmm
that kind of set you on the path that you're on today, what did it feel like when you finally put your hands on that deer?
I don't know, it was something special. It was really holy shit, I did it. you know like I did it, like I finally shot a big buck, like not just you know a little basket eight. It was like I finally shot a big buck, you know like
Yeah.
next level.
And did it cross your mind that you had to like manifest this by utilizing the information that you were collecting? You said you had a week experience with this deer, a week long hunt for this animal. I'm sure you collected data as you were going. Like obviously, well, at least I don't think that you didn't have any trail cameras back then, right?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. I borrowed a 35 millimeter trail camera from a buddy one time and used it for like a week, but I didn't have one for myself. Like that wasn't a thing.
So again, you put your hands on this deer that really changes kind of your outlook on hunting as a whole. You're thinking to yourself, my God, I took this information that I learned and I put it all together and I was able to diagnose what I needed to do to be successful on an animal of this caliber. What of that experience do you still hold with you today, if anything? Trusting your gut,
I
going with your
mean,
instinct.
persistence. It's
Oh,
persistence.
persistence. Okay.
Just staying after it. Like, get in there and like follow them in there. Get in there, see what's going on. Spend the time. Don't fuck it up. Don't blow them out. You got to see what they're doing, you know, and then you got to. Well, when I was younger, I was just a crash in there, and once they're jumped up and running, now you know where they're at. Like it was like, blow them out to figure them out. You know,
And you don't live by
Gotta-
that. You don't live by that today.
no, 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 no. I mean, if it's someplace I've never been, then yeah, I get in there, blow them out of there, see what's going on, see which way they head when they're rolling out of there. Like that was always my thing. Like once you figure out like where they're at and then like what their escape routes are and like if there's a threat or anything like that, if the neighbor drives in on his four-wheeler and these deer are gonna like always run out this way, you know, you gotta just learn the lay of the land.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like hunting that same property over the years. You just kind of know where they're going to be and what they're going to do.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. But the reason I asked that is the reason I asked, do you still live by that today? Is because there's another camp that lives in the you gotta blow them out to know what the fuck's going on, and
Yeah.
and I don't I'm not staunchly one way or the other. I think it's all it's very situational, which is a buzzword in today's
Mm-hmm.
podcast community. But it is situational because
Yeah.
not every deer is the same, not every property is the same, not every scenario is
No.
the same. So I just was very curious. I don't. Again, I'm not staunchly one way or the other. I definitely am. I'm always curious what people learn in the beginning and then hold with them all the way through because there's a lot of value in those lessons.
Yeah. I think that, um, like I said, if it's a property I don't know, I'll bust in there and just blow everything out and figure out what's going on. Or, public land spots, you know, you got to get in there and figure it out, But if it's a place that I've been hunting for years, I already know where they're going to be, you
Yeah.
know.
On a property that you're familiar with, how um let me see if I can say this correctly. I assume it is ag country down there, okay?
Yeah.
And so I assume there is a very traditional crop rotation. Is it such that you know what the deer are going to do based on a corn bean rotation, or is it different?
It's really not much different
Okay.
either. Like it doesn't, if there's beans, that they're going to be bedding in the beans in this field. But if it's corn, you know, they're probably not going to be bedding in there, you know, but they don't, and it's like where they go to feed in the winter, once it starts getting late season, they're going to be heading out to the corn stubble, wherever that's at.
Mm-hmm.
If it's on this property or a neighbor's property, that's where they're heading, you know.
Sure. Well, the reason I ask that is selfish in that I noticed at our property, it's a corn bean rotation. Our property used to have the only CRP in the neighborhood, and it doesn't anymore. Maybe one day it'll come back, but it doesn't right now. And so I would like to believe that there's a couple things that are always true at our particular property. However, something changes in that I find rubs and scrapes in areas that I have never seen them in 10 years. And so there's something that changes. And I know there's blowdowns, and I know that that can manipulate travel periodically. I also know that there's some different bedding places over the years that have changed. But I was curious, as far as you're concerned, do you find micro deer adjustments on your property, or are they
Yeah.
mostly large changes?
No, it's all like micro adjustments.
Okay.
Um, where this trail comes out, you know, it's usually in the same neighborhood, but it can vary 10 yards this way or 10 yards that way,
Yeah.
and it's usually like because of a blowdown or something of that nature.
Yeah. It's interesting. Um, I just had a total derailment of my thoughts. That is ridiculous.
That's a
I don't
senior
remember.
moment.
Oh my god, I definitely had a senior moment. Oh, so we were talking about your big bucks, and we were talking about some of those things that kind of stick with you throughout your career. You posted a video. I think it was yesterday where you were doing some scouting. Was that some public land that you were kind of traipsing around on?
No, I was cutting firewood in a private
Oh,
spot. Yeah, I was just out for some firewood yesterday afternoon, and found that deer trail. It was just caught my eye. I was working and um, seen it and had to. I thought it was just cracked me up because that deer went through there and just shredded every tree in his path, and it looked like it was just happened. You
yeah,
know,
it's
like
mind.
that dude was fired up.
And you wonder what was he doing? Like what was on his mind at that moment where he's like, I'm fucking hitting every sapling in this place.
He must not have got that itch scratched during November.
Yeah,
He's still out there looking for it.
yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
funny. That is funny. No, it's you make a great point. I think when you love this so much, you could be doing something completely random and be like, oh, I can see a rub over there, and it's 100 yards away, and it's glowing. It's glowing like a lamp in the
Yeah,
darkness uh, to us because we're just so used to looking for that stuff.
yeah.
What are you looking for when you in your hunting experience today? Like what are you seeking when you go out today? Like is it experience? Is it a certain caliber of deer? Is it just just a good time? Like what are you
I'm
looking for?
I'm looking for a good time. I'm I like to have fun. I like to fill my freezer. I enjoy my time out there.
Yeah.
It's my time out there is it's almost it's it sounds cheesy to say that it's spiritual, but it is, like um and my dad passed away like a year ago, so
I'm sorry.
it's all right. But we were hunting buddies, so my my experience out there is a lot different now, you know, because we were hunting buddies, and so now I'm taking my son because he's my hunting buddy now, right? So it's something different now. Things are just different.
Yeah.
I still like to shoot big bucks, and I work on that. I still chase bucks, but I didn't even tag a buck this year. Um, I hunted and hunted, and I my target deer passed behind me on the neighbor's property at like 40 yards. So, um, and then my very last night of season, I think he was about 30 yards in front of me as it was darkening. Like it was last light, last minute, and he was in the timber right there in front of me, and I could hear him coming, but I couldn't see him. It
Yeah.
was closing time.
Do you have history with that deer?
Yeah, I've been working on him for a little while. So,
Like multiple years while?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. That's awesome, man. That's
yeah.
got to be a good feeling. Do you know if he survived?
I don't know for sure right now. I
Ooh.
haven't. I actually, so the past 2 years, I haven't ran a trail camera.
Not a one?
No, not for the last 2 years.
Bless you, sir.
I I think I'm gonna put one out.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, but I don't have any cell cameras.
Oh, so it'll be an SD card cam.
Yeah, yeah, but I haven't had a single camera out for 2 years.
Why?
I
I said that sounded aggressive. Why did you decide not to do cameras?
um, uh, it's you kind of lose the surprise factor, and you start hunting. I don't know. It's you start tightening the net. You're doing the thing. You're making moves. And then you're just like, I'm not enjoying it. It's not. It just turns into such a vendetta towards one deer. And you're like, this deer or nothing. I've got his number, and then you quit. I mean, some people, yeah. Not, I was just losing that, and
Yeah.
I wanted to have a surprise when I go out and sit. Like, I know where they're going to be, so I just need to be there.
Yeah.
You know, go in, find the spot, and be there. I don't need to know that it's a 9 pointer with a kicker off of his two, and I mean, he's got a half-inch broke off of one. That shit don't matter. It's like when the big one walks in, you know it. It's game time.
Yeah. Are
You
you
know.
so obviously the first year wasn't so bad that you only made it 1 year. You obviously went 2 full seasons without running
Yeah.
cameras. So
Yeah.
I think so the reason I think it's funny because I have a podcast that I recorded with my brother that comes out this week. And we talked about this. And what I had said was I hunted a spot in Ohio this year at the end of the season, late season, that I'd never hunted before. And as the sun came up that morning, I was as excited as opening day, more than any other spot I'd sat since opening day. Maybe Kansas, because there's just so much opportunity. But just,
Yeah.
I hadn't felt that. And it's because I had no cell camera information there whatsoever. It was a picture perfect ridge. I read the sign going in. Everything made a lot of sense. I felt so much excitement that I want that. I want more of that.
Yep.
And I would imagine that you read the sign. If you go in
Yeah.
somewhere where the deer are supposed to be and you don't see what you want to see, I would imagine you'd recalibrate.
Well, yeah. I'm not gonna sit on a dry ridge. You
Right.
know.
And I think if we are I have a tote in my eyesight right now that is loaded with cameras. I've got a few that are still out. And I always say, "Well, I'm not hunting the camera." But I think
Hmm.
I think it'd be naive to think that that's not one ingredient in my decision making. Even in
Yeah.
the back of my mind, it's got to be something in there that's
Oh
making me
yeah.
make decisions.
Oh yeah.
So would you go out on a limb and encourage everybody to give it a shot?
Uh, I mean, if that's what you want to, like, if okay, there's no way that like somebody. I mean, any any big farm deer personality, there's no way that they're going to be able to do that. They can't do that because it's such a part of their livelihood. That is what they do.
Yeah.
That's how they hunt. But I'm just a regular guy that, hunts permission pieces and a little public here and there. Like, you know, so it's not that big of a deal for me to just pop into a spot, find a sign and hunt it and, you know, go from there.
Is there a scenario in your world where you might find yourself wanting to use cell cameras? Like if you were, do you do any out of state hunting?
Yeah, mm, I do, but it's been a little while since I've went out of state.
Do you think
But
that might be a
Indiana's
scenario where you might use it, or is
for a
that even
cell.
more of a surprise that you like?
I don't know. I just don't. The cell camera. I like to get the SD card and sit down at the computer and go through like, and so like when I do run an SD camera, I'll set it up and I'll only check it like once a month, like throughout the hunting season,
Mm-hmm.
or in stages, like right up and check it like right before Halloween, so I can kind of get a gauge on what's out there, and then I'll check it like maybe like a week later because obviously I'll be in there more,
Yeah,
keep a little bit better eye on things during
sure.
that period of time. But cell cameras, if I had multiple big properties that I was hunting, I could see the use of a cell camera there. But like, so you could just, if I had a whole tote full of cell cameras and just go spread them out across these 5 big properties and then just sit and wait for the big one to show up and then be like, boom, I'm going there. You know, you can do that. But that's, like I said, it's not really what I was going for this year or last, not really what I was going for.
Was the buck you shot last year one eyed? Was it One Eye Willie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about One Eyed Willie. Great name, by the way.
Uh, uh, that deer, I hunted that deer. Man, I had him. I was all over that deer. I I was all over him. He was living in a pocket, and I'd get right up on his ass, and he'd come out just a little off. And I had to be real careful because he was super easy to blow out of there. But I had to be able to get tight enough, obviously. And I had him come across right behind me one night at like 23 yards on the neighbors. Like this property that I'm hunting is pretty small, so the neighbor's property is always pretty close. Um, so I had to. I watched him walk by that night, and then I've got a video. He was running some does around another night, and across the fence, and I grunted at him. He hops the fence and runs right up, but he's like 60 yards out, and he just like crosses right in front of me at 60 yards, and he goes up, checks a scrape, and then like crosses back across in front of me at 60 yards. And I got footage of that. It was like, oh,
Of
I was
course.
rattled. I was rattled because when he came in, I was like, man, this is going to happen because he ran in. Like I grunted and he ran in, and he just marched across and he stood there and looked. And I was like, I could like 60,
That's a poke,
62
man.
yards. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not, I was so freaking rattled. I wasn't taking the shot, that's for sure. And then one night he came out. There was a littler buck, like a 2-year old, and there was 2-year old was up sparring with another little buck, and then uh, Willie comes out, and he's like way bigger than the other deer, right? He's like double their size, and the other bucks are like kind of like, oh shit. Well, this other buck comes up from this, like they all kind of met up in the middle of the field, like they're all like coming like this, meeting up in the middle of the field, and because there's like this pocket that rolls down, and it's like a bowl system, and there's just some action there. Well, as they're like passing past each other, and Willie's doing the old sidestep, the old
Mhm.
John Wayne walk, he's
Yeah.
like sidestepping. And then I like, as they're right there, I freaking snort wheezed, and they fucking like was like they didn't lock up, but they were like got serious real fast because they didn't know who did it. And then it
Yeah.
like threw off the dynamic of everything. And that little buck ended up turning and hauling ass out of there.
Oh my gosh. That's a great plan to snort weeds when
Yeah.
they don't know who's going to be the one that did it.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to lock up, but that little one was like, nah, no thanks.
Was Willie, for as long as you hunted him, did he always just have the one eye that was all fucked up?
I don't know. I don't know because I didn't know it until I got him because I didn't have any
Oh.
camera pictures of him.
Oh.
You know, I didn't know that he was like that because it was just all, it was pretty nasty.
Yeah. Was it
It,
gone or was it like deflated?
it was deflated and
Oh
like
man.
nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that it happened that season?
Yeah. Yeah. Because he was definitely fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he a
So
bully? Was he like the bully? The bully?
he was the man. He was running the show.
Got it.
He was definitely the man out there.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You
that was a
said,
good deer.
yeah.
He had a fork two. I've never shot a buck with a fork two. That
Is
was pretty cool.
that's not a genetic thing that you've seen in your area?
No, no, fork twos aren't a big deal around here. You
Hmm.
don't see it very often.
I always wonder why that comes up. We had some. Well, for example, I've been at this property that for almost 10 years, and I have never, ever, ever seen split brow tines until the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Just all of a sudden, we've got split brows from
hell yeah.
somewhere,
I'm a fan of
and
that.
love it.
Yeah,
And then there'll be another. All the deer, 90% of the deer on this property all look just about the same.
yeah.
Very traditional, medium 18-inch wide frames. Maybe you get one that's pushing 20, but it's rare. This year, we had one that was like 12 inches wide, super tall, split
Those are
G2. Like,
cool.
where the fuck are these genetics coming from?
Yeah,
It's just fascinating to think about the biology that goes along with that stuff.
yeah. Some deer went on a walkabout and laid his genetics.
Yeah, I
You
love
know,
it.
some deer from 5 miles away traveled the river.
Yeah, love it. Speaking of
Yeah.
the river, you ever take your boat somewhere, take a boat somewhere to hunt, like an island or something like that?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I had this wild hare last year that I was going to hunt an island. I
Uh-huh.
was going to take my kayak and I was going to kayak over this island. And my wife was like, I don't want you kayaking in the dark all by yourself. I said, okay, fair enough.
Right.
So in the summer, Adam and I kayaked over there, and apparently lots of people like to hunt this island. Because they're cutting trees down and bait piles, and I'm like, gee, this is Ohio, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
anyway, I put up a couple of cameras, and I
Hmm.
on one of those cameras was a mega, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. First of all, does he live on this island? Or is he swimming across this river
Right.
to get to
Right.
mainland periodically? Like how long has he been here? Well, um, I was gonna hunt there one day, and I changed my mind and hunted in Michigan, and that deer showed up at like 4 o'clock in front of that camera, exactly where I was gonna go, and never to be seen again. He never stepped foot in that camera ever again. And I think someone was out there very shortly after that and shot him. Or he did swim across the river and went to mainland for the rest of the season. I have no idea. It's such a bizarre thing that these deer can survive out there like that.
I don't know. I don't know. It is weird. Then when you see a deer swimming, it's almost like that's not supposed to happen.
Doesn't seem physically possible.
Yeah.
Well, again, you're bucks. So like you're killing these bucks. Um, do you ever get and just be honest with me, do you ever get a little cocky? Like, oh man, I'm killing it out here.
No, I try not to. I try not to.
Is it
I
tough to
try,
do because you found success, man?
I mean, I just try to be a nice dude, you know.
I think you are.
I'm not trying to, and just try to have good vibes, you
Yeah.
know.
The industry does not reflect that same sentiment. And so thank you for being humble. Um, most guys, myself included, have had those moments where it's like I can't wait for people to see this. Um, and I think there's an aspect of like I'm really proud of what I did, and I think some of my friends would appreciate that. But I do believe that it is like there's this look how cool I am culture today, and I think
Right.
you and I and a lot of other people that I know we're a little bit older than that generation,
Yeah.
and I think that helps us a little bit. But it is
Yeah.
easy to
Yeah.
get sucked into. Um, do you feel like
Yeah.
yeah? Go ahead.
I was just thinking that, like the younger people, I don't know, it's like they got to prove something, And I remember when we were 20 years old, of course we thought we had to prove something. Shit was just different. We didn't have a platform to prove it on. You go stand uptown on Main Street and prove it to your buddies while
Yeah,
you're cruising and shit. Back in the day, you know, you prove it to your friends and people around, but you weren't like, you didn't have a platform, you know?
you're right. I had two 12-inch subwoofer. I had two 10-inch kicker competition subwoofers in my 1993 Cavalier with a disc man that had a tape that I plugged in so that I could
Hell
play my
yeah.
CDs. And you would cruise. You would just cruise the back roads, and you would turn that up, and it sounded like your car was going to rattle apart. But
Yeah.
that was your puffing out your chest. There was no. You're right. There was no platform.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. I had a big loud truck that I smoked the tires and did donuts uptown and shit. Like,
Yeah,
I had the loudest, I had open headers uptown. I mean, I took my freaking exhaust off in shop class.
if anybody wants to know how small Andy's town is, that's how small Andy's town is right there. He brought his own vehicle into shop class to work on.
Dude, I did an engine swap in shop class.
That is
I built
awesome.
I built my own engine and then swapped it in shop class.
That is the best. That was when life was at that was peak life right there.
Dude, I'm telling you.
The late 90s
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
What I wouldn't give to go back to the late 90s with the current wisdom that I have today. I'd get in a lot of
Yeah.
trouble, I think.
Yeah.
For anybody that is only listening, Andy's shaking his head yes.
Yeah. All I can
Um,
say is all I can say is no fear.
yeah, hell yeah. Um
Yeah.
so again, I love that you're a humble guy, but what do you like do you ever get concerned that there's going to be that you're going to run out of like a quality deer to chase? Like if you if it, do you set I know you said you're looking for an adventure and you said you're looking for an experience, but I also believe that you're looking for a caliber of deer. Like right, you're not shooting an 80-inch basket 8 anymore, right?
I would have on the last night this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the last night this year, it was any buck. It
Okay.
was any legal buck.
Well, that's great because I know
I
that so
still
many
had a
people
tag.
set goals and then
I
they're
still
like,
had a tag.
yeah, it's like this or nothing, right? Well, that's great that you're willing to just shoot a deer because that's what you're out there to do.
Yeah. I mean, I hunted all season for the deer,
A deer.
for a single specific deer.
Yeah.
And then on the last night, like I had passed up several smaller bucks this season, like walking right under me. Nope, not you. Nope, not you. You know, and on the last night, I was like, I've got this tag and I'm gonna burn it. If it's brown, it's down. Like, you know? So I am the guy that will shoot on the last day that I pass up the first day. I am that guy.
That did go through my head.
Yeah, I am definitely that guy.
I probably am too. I
I
mean,
I mean, I don't get like why not? Like I don't want to cut my trip short. I want to enjoy the trip,
yeah,
but I also want to fill a tag
yep.
because most of the time those things are pretty expensive.
I look at does almost more intently in that regard than I do bucks because um, I pass a lot of does when I shouldn't.
I don't.
And I shouldn't. I don't know what the fuck I know what my fucking problem is, but I don't know what my fucking problem is. I know I did not want to process that doe in Kansas that I absolutely should have blasted because I came home with
Yeah,
nothing again.
I will shoot a doe every time.
God, I know that in my head I went, I don't want to deal with this today. I only want to shoot a buck because I have 4 days left. And then by the fourth day, on my last day, a doe doesn't walk in front of me. And then I'm pissed at myself. I've got to just stop. I got to grow up and shoot those deer when they walk in front of me. I do. I look at does more because at the end of the season, I'm here going, oh, I need to put 3 more deer in the freezer, but I don't want to hunt when it's -5.
Right.
I'm exhausted at this point.
Shoot a doe on November 2nd.
I know. What the fuck is wrong with me, man?
Hey, that's what you're out there to do, right?
Yes. I'll shoot a doe opening night, no questions asked.
Yeah.
In fact, I did it this year. I should do it multiple times.
Yeah.
God,
If you've got a target rich environment,
yeah,
get after it.
yeah. Well, we do have a target rich environment. We really do. And you're in Indiana, and I would be willing to bet here that you hunted prior to it becoming a $1 state, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What was it like
Back in
back
the olden
then?
days.
Yeah, what was it like? What did you feel like it was a target rich environment when you were $2?
Yeah, I feel like there used to be a lot of deer throughout the 90s, 80s and 90s. I feel like there was a lot of deer because you'd see big groups of deer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to a 1 buck and we didn't have a choice. We couldn't go to the meetings and fight it. They just came out and said, 1 buck, this is
Yeah.
it. Of course, everybody was pissed, but now I think it's a pretty good thing. It seems like overall there are more bigger bucks,
Mm-hmm.
where every every buck was getting wasted because there was more tags. Well, now you've got that 1 buck tag, and you're going to be a little more choosy with it.
Yeah.
You know, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, and I think you realize where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
So Chad Stewart,
Mm-hmm.
who was the I don't know if it's the IDNR, if it's the Indiana DNR. I don't know how they
Yeah, just the Indiana DNR.
Game and Wildlife or whatever. So Chad Stewart was there and
Yeah,
was, I believe, the one responsible for implementing the single buck.
I'm not sure. That was like 96 or something,
Yeah.
I think.
I suppose he could have just been involved in it, but I am for sure he was there. He is now our Michigan DNR point person. Chad Stewart is for whitetail
Mhm.
deer, and so that is the $1 tag is a very heavily contested topic right now in Michigan. It is
Yeah.
getting very ugly. Even among the people that I communicate with, and I'm not choosing. I am okay with Michigan being a $1 state. I
Mhm.
realize that my experience is different than my neighbor's experience, which is different than my friends' experiences, and that's okay. That's just what I think we need to do. I don't have the problems that everybody's having. I'm also having a great time.
Yeah.
I'm hunting, and whether it's a doe or whether it's a buck, I'm happy
Yeah.
hunting and shooting, and so but it's ugly, and
Yeah.
I love getting your perspective on, and you saw it, man.
So do you want me to blow the roof off of this whole thing right now?
Fucking shit, yes,
I've
I
got
do.
I've got a hot take for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you go to $1 state, if you go to a $1 tag for the whole year, one person gets $1 tag. It eliminates the whole fight against crossbows because you've only got one tag and you're going to use whatever legal equipment it takes to hunt that whole season.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to shoot $1 that whole season, regardless of what equipment you're using.
That's true.
So when granddad's using his 30-06, nobody's bitching about that.
That's true. That's a good point. I've never thought about it like that.
It shouldn't
Um,
matter if you hunt October 1st with a crossbow and you shoot your buck then, or if you shoot it November 15th with 30-06. What's the fucking difference?
that's a great point.
You've only got one. You're only shooting one.
I think the argument is that the way that I understand some of these arguments is that the use of a crossbow in archery season is as easy as using a gun in archery season.
I see the argument. Yeah.
And the traditionalists, even though true traditionalists would argue that their bow is different than the compound bow, is that
Right.
the traditional vertical bow hunters wanted a season by themselves. I don't give a shit if you use a
I don't
crossbow.
either. I don't
But
give a shit
so
either.
again, I just had this conversation with Adam. It'll be out this week. My comment is, if you need to use a crossbow, use it. But if you
Yeah.
don't, I would encourage you to try a vertical bow and challenge yourself. That's
Now,
all.
just to set the record straight, I don't own a crossbow. I've never shot a crossbow.
Yeah.
I don't know anything, it's not my bag. But I don't have a problem with using any legal equipment.
Yep.
You know, I'm okay with it.
Yep.
If somebody says I can, use a flintlock muzzleloader in January, I'd be all over it,
Yeah. Yep.
or,
Okay. Yes.
anything, any legal equipment, I'm cool
Right.
with.
Yeah. Again, I was just thinking, like, if you want to hunt and have it be a meaningful experience, whatever that means for you, do it. But if you want to push yourself to learn a new skill, then shoot your crossbow, get competent, learn about hunting, and then graduate into a
Yeah,
vertical bow, if
sure.
that's something that you want. If not, I don't fucking care. But
Right.
I want to push people to be the best version of themselves, and a lot of times that's getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so that's my whole argument is I would encourage you to get out of your comfort zone, and I hope to one day go to traditional equipment. I'm not there yet, but I hope that at some point I can.
Yeah.
That's my goal. I want to be able to shoot a deer. I want to be able to ground stalk a deer and a big buck, a mature buck, and I want to be able to shoot a mature buck from the ground in a ground stalk scenario. I ain't there yet,
Yeah.
but I want to get there.
Yeah.
That's kind of my
Yeah.
perspective. But I
Yeah. That'd
am
be cool.
I really appreciate your perspective on the $1 state. Um, most people say they appreciate being a $1 state,
Hmm.
and uh, there's a huge concern that if our bucks get too big, there's going to be too many non-resident hunters that come here. I don't. I still don't find that to be a valid argument as to not wanting a $1 state. I just,
Well, um, for example, Michigan used to be like everybody would travel there to go hunting back in the old days. My grandpa,
yeah,
because we didn't have deer around here in the 50s.
hmm
So they would go to Michigan to deer hunt, you know?
Yep.
Like that was always go up north,
Yeah.
go up to deer camp, you know?
There's multiple things that changed since then. The deer camp mentality is gone. Not completely. There's a lot
Right.
of people who want to bring that back. There's a lot of
Yeah.
guys that I know that still do it. I'm not one of them, but I do know that people do. So there's a mentality, there's a generational difference in that hunt camp doesn't exist. Spend time with your homies, potentially shoot a deer, drink,
Yeah.
smoke, fart, like that whole thing
Yep.
was a lifestyle. And the I want it now, fast, easy, and the best.
Right.
And I think when people look at Michigan, they don't see that they don't see the opportunity to have either one of those two things. They don't have the deer camp mentality doesn't exist anymore because the generations that owned the deer camps are dead and gone or lost those properties. And
Right.
if you come here and spend money as an out-of-state hunter, your ability to get it bigger, faster, quicker, better, it doesn't exist, and so you have to work at it. They don't want that either. So you
Right.
go somewhere where that maybe is a better opportunity, and I think that's unfortunate because people are missing the point to just hunt.
Right. Right.
If you don't see a deer, oh fucking well. You may see an
Right.
owl. You may see a groundhog that's building a nest. You maybe get screamed at by a red squirrel the entire 4 hour morning hunt. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's
Right.
hunting. It's the whole. People are ignoring the whole experience, and that's really
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. It's like somebody wants, instant gratification for it, but then they're going to wait 6 years to hunt Iowa. Like,
Yep.
you know, I, if you want to hunt Iowa, you can hunt Iowa, but you don't miss out on, your hunting opportunities at home too. Like, just spend the time out there.
Yeah. And I am guilty. I'm super guilty. Super guilty. I've always left Michigan in prime time because I've fallen in love with my travel hunting. And so I'm not
There's
mad about
nothing wrong
that.
with that.
Yeah. Like I'm not mad about the fact that I have this passion for travel hunting, but I do then look when I come home, I'm like, oh, I just missed the 2 best weeks in Michigan, so that sucks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the only reason I know that is from trail cameras.
Ah,
So if I didn't have trail cameras, I would be hypothesizing that I missed the 2 best weeks in Michigan. But now I have visual representation that I did. So maybe I should get rid of them for that reason.
whatever you want to do.
Yeah, man. It's on
It's
the
it's
yeah.
it's your hunt. It's your hunt. You
Can,
know?
yeah. Can you bait in Indiana?
No.
No. Okay. Can you supplemental can you like mineral in the off season at all?
Yeah, yeah. So like right now, you can put mineral out because season's all over with.
Yeah. I like
You
that.
know? Yeah,
I think
but it's got to be all cleaned up. It's got to be all cleaned up before season. You can't have any like contaminated dirt or anything out there. So you can't have like a stump with a hole in the ground where you've been putting it for 30 years. You can't
well,
have
that's a
that.
problem. Oh man, because we used to be able to bait. So when I first moved back to Michigan from Florida, we could bait, and we never really got. I literally never saw value in it. It was just what we did because we could, and I just
Yeah,
looking back now, there was no reason to do it. But we would also do mineral stumps. They had logged the property selectively at one point, and we would take our chainsaws out there and like cut grooves in those stumps, and then pour like deer crack in it.
yeah,
And those deer to this day, it has been banned for years. To this
yeah,
day, those deer will hit that stump,
yeah,
that one particular stump, because it still just
yep,
has so much residue in it, which is crazy to
yep,
think about.
yeah.
I
So
just
like,
wish we'd bring it back. I wish we could supplemental nutrition, give the deer stuff in the off season, and I like the idea of having it cleaned up like maybe 30 days prior to season.
yeah. So if you're gonna put out mineral, you put it like in a tub so it doesn't leach
Oh,
into the ground. You know, so
interesting.
you know. Yeah. But you can do like the corn or whatever right on top of the ground,
Yeah.
you know, in the winter months or spring, supplemental feed in the winter and spring if you want to do that.
So you can feed in the off season. I thought maybe it was just minerals. So you can supplemental feed in the off season.
Yeah, yeah, like big
Okay.
time and all that.
Okay. I think that's kind of smart
Yeah.
considering what the weather's been like the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of
Yeah.
good stuff in the deer. I mean, I don't know. Did you just get hit with a bunch of snow?
Yeah, we just got hammered today.
Where's all the food that the deer are going to eat? Buried. So it'd be
Yeah.
nice if you could help them out a little bit. The animals that you love, and people say, "Well, you're shooting them." Yeah, but I still want them to see. I want them to be healthy.
Yeah.
I think we should be able to supplemental feed in the off season.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of things that we need to change in Michigan, but um, we'll wrap this up here pretty quickly here. I just I noticed that you have a lot of posts that have something to do with Garage Guys. What is Garage Guys?
That's Byron Horton, whitetail experience Byron
Oh,
Horton.
yeah.
So that's kind of his baby.
Oh,
So it's just kind of like a group that, garage guys, we drink
yeah.
beer, grill food and, you know,
Do man
look
shit in
at,
the garage.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
just main shit. We
yeah.
grill food and drink beers and,
Bikini calendars on the wall.
yeah.
Yes. All right.
Garage guy,
Garage Guys. I
you
like it.
know,
I do remember seeing. Was it like a hinged bar top or something? Am I making this
yeah,
up?
yeah, yeah. The hinged bar,
I
it's
wasn't sure
full
if maybe that
slap.
was yours.
No, that's Byron makes those.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, Byron makes those.
Well, I was going
That's
to try
his
and
deal.
toot your horn, man. Promote your business, but I didn't know it was Byron's. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So,
what do you have from the garage guy? What do you have in your garage?
well, I've got a hinged bar.
Oh hell yeah.
That thing's pretty sick. It's nice. I like it.
Does it
And
have
then,
something on it? Like do you have because wasn't he doing like patterns and stuff that he'd burn into?
yeah. I've got the one with the bucks on it.
Oh,
You know,
nice. Okay.
yeah, it's like burned in
Mm-hmm.
there, like laser burned in there.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks, what says garage beers taste best or
Oh
something.
yeah. Okay. Nice.
It's got
Very
the
cool.
LED lights underneath of it. Like, it's pretty sick.
That's cool, man.
Bottle opener on it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot that he was doing that.
Yeah.
I for some reason thought maybe it was yours. And so,
No,
okay,
no, that's
I
it.
gotcha.
But I
Yeah.
just work with him on that, because it's part of it's part of the thing.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
something we do.
yeah. Well, where can people follow along with you if they want to follow along on your journey and your health journey and your clean armpits journey? We didn't even talk about armpits. I do have on here. Let's discuss your armpits, but we don't have to do that
I
unless you want to.
did switch to some Squatch.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll see how that goes for now. It seems
Listen,
to be working out so far.
I liked the Dr. Squatch. We're
Yeah.
gonna that's all right. We're fucking talking about your armpits. And
All
we'll
right.
talk about my armpits too. Some people
Knew
look
it was
at
going to happen.
I know
We
one
knew
way or
it was going to
another.
happen.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I loved the pine tar, and then I don't know if my body changed, but it just wasn't. It wasn't keeping me fresh all
Yeah.
day, and so I was like, either I changed or it changed, and so I tried that other brand, Grizzly Naturals
Yeah.
pine tar. I just like that pine tar smell. I feel like I could wear a pine tar in the woods and it don't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once you start getting away from the chemicals, it could smell like, you know, a fart and it wouldn't matter,
Yeah.
you know?
So you're using Dr. Squatch. What scent?
I'm not real sure which one it is.
If it was pine
Um,
tar, you'd know.
it's not pine tar. It's like Fresh Falls or something.
Ooh, that's romantic.
Sierra Storm.
Oh, dang.
Sounds
Okay.
like a
She's an adult
Adult
actress. I
actor.
got all of her videos upstairs. That's right. I'm gonna follow her on Instagram right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny. Well, good. I'm glad you found something that you're liking. Keep me updated on that. And so I know you said you don't do a ton of out of state hunting. What do you have planned for this year, 2026? Is it going to be all Indiana?
I don't know. I don't know. I've got some points that are getting close on a few things, so I've got some stuff in the works for the next couple of years. I'm not real sure, but I'm, Ohio's right here, so
Yeah.
might do something with that. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm a little surprised that you don't go over see Byron periodically every year.
Yeah, I went over to hang out with him a little bit over the summer. He had to shoot. Uh, I don't remember he called it. It was whitetail experience
Yeah.
range day. Um, Deers and beers, I think is yeah. So we went and did that over the summer. That was a pretty good time. But I'm literally like right on the Ohio border.
Okay.
So there's some pretty decent private land that I know some people that own over there. So maybe I'll start looking
Right.
into that a little bit.
Cool. Good deal. Well, I hope you have a lot of fun this year. Do you what do you do in the off season?
Work.
Well, I mean, like for deer. Do you
um,
do food plots? Do you like do
no, I
TSI
don't do food
stuff?
blog. Um, I like to just I spend a lot of time driving around, glassing, you know, do a lot of that. That seems to work out pretty well for me. Keeping an eye on things, seeing where they're at, trying to get new spots, the usual
You a door knocker or a letterman?
door knocker.
Yeah,
More of a roll up in the driveway while the farmer's out working in the barn and see if I can lend him a hand.
I like it. Listen in, everybody. You don't just get it for free. You got to put a little sweat equity into it.
Yeah,
I'm listening. I'm taking my own advice here. I got to stop
yeah,
just sending letters and go knock on doors, man. The letters
yeah.
aren't working.
Probably not.
Nope. Well, that's cool, man. Well, I listen. I hope you keep up and keep in touch with me on your clean living journey. I wish you well. I know it's very challenging. I wish you luck this year. I appreciate you spending some time with me this evening, getting to know you a little bit better. And where can people find you again on Instagram?
It's just a McLaughlin 762.
Okay.
Pretty basic deal.
Yep. Is there any other social media that you want to share with anybody? Do you
Nah, it's just
film your hunts at all?
no. I film with my phone. I've got the
Yeah.
little bow mount, and I do that, and that's about it. So I do get kill shots on film.
Yeah.
Um, that's about it. Make little
Any-
videos.
Anything on YouTube people should look for?
No.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Video editing's a pain in the ass, man. Pain in the
Yeah.
ass.
I don't have the space for a whole video. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, dude, I appreciate your time tonight. I enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Thanks everybody for listening. We will talk to you all soon. See ya.